Okay, let's get into it real quick. A little bit about me. 23 years old, Kumail Hussain. I was born here in America. My parents are from Pakistan. I'm a first generation student, and I've been wanting to do medicine ever since I was in high school, really, and really solidified my passion in college. But I did have my struggles. I was on the fence about it a few times because getting into medical school is hard. Arguably, people would say that getting into medical school is the hardest point, right? It's the hardest thing to do. Getting into medical school, you're kind of chilling. There's a lot of resources and people to support you to really get you through. But getting in, it's quite a challenge. And every year it gets harder and harder. So I'm here to help you with that, share my story with you guys, and hopefully you can learn from it, all right? So we'll start off with my undergrad experience. So in undergrad, I went to Augustana College, a liberal arts college in Illinois. Great school. I joined it because they had a decent pre-med program. A good amount of students would matriculate into the medical schools. I also had a great financial package to attend there, and that was a huge deciding factor for me for which undergrad I want to choose. So when you're talking about which undergrad you want to choose, you want to take this into account: cost, location, the name, the pre-med advising and program they have there, like what's success rates, what schools are they going to, right? Did really well my first year, had general chemistry and all those biology, all those regular normal courses you would take. Then I started to struggle sophomore year, junior year. I had stuff going on at home, which really put me behind in my studies. I was also working a part-time to full-time job during my time in undergrad, which took away a lot from my study time. I was also part of a fraternity. I was part of extracurriculars. I was working. I was trying to put forth my effort into my studies, but I was just feeling overwhelmed by sophomore year. I don't know what it was. I think maybe it was like you kind of just like bury yourself into your commitments, and you always say like, oh, I'll do this later and just start procrastinating so badly. And it really just like caught up to me by senior year, because senior year I did not have the best GPA. I was still struggling in courses. If anything, I feel like more so than ever. And the hardest course for me was organic chemistry, and I'm sure many of y'all can relate. And I got through that in my junior year, but senior year, I still had difficult courses to take, upper level science courses, and I was on the fence of either pursuing medicine. I had not taken the MCAT. I had not applied to med school the junior year to my senior year. I actually started applying after my senior year, but I also started applying to master programs in special master programs that are like public health, and master programs in health administration, just as a backup, because I knew I was not a competitive applicant to get into medical school. My GPA when I graduated senior year of college was around 3.3, and I had numerous volunteer experiences. I just started getting clinical experiences by hospice and by scribing, so I was building up those hours, but I did not have enough to really showcase my application in time. So I was a little worried about that. And I had a good amount of extracurriculars. I had some quality experiences I could speak about in my applications. I was working in my personal statement, my CV, my resume, all that stuff. It adds up, and I did not know it was this much for the application. So I would say look into it, seek advice, because it's easy to put it off and say like that's a next year's problem, that's a next month's problem. Take time to just look into it. You don't have to like jump right into it. See what YouTube videos are out there, what blogs say, what Reddit posts say. But take everything with a grain of salt. Not everything is true. Everyone has their different opinion. So after my undergrad, I finished my undergrad with a 3.3 GPA, and I was planning to take the MCAT that summer. And I also, at the same time, was accepted into a couple special master programs that kind of offered linkage or somewhat of an interview with their medical school. So I got accepted to the one at Rosalind Franklin, the one in Illinois, and also the one in Midwestern, which is a DO school connection. Pretty expensive program. So I was just like, wow, this is a huge gamble. This is a huge risk. Do I really want to go through with it? A lot of deliberation during the summer, a lot of thinking about it, and I realized that, you know what, maybe I could give it a shot. So I took my chance on this master's program, paying excessive amounts of tuition. A lot of these are designed to be moneymakers, so please be careful where you go. But I was like, I'll take a chance. During my master's program, I reinvented myself. I told myself that it's like my last shot to really get into medicine, because once you start getting rejected from application cycles and you do all this education, you start to like just crumble. You start to think like it's not possible. So I said I'll give all my effort into this master's program. I reinvented myself. I changed the way I ate, the way I slept, the way I thought, everything. I minimized my distractions. I did not want to hang out with friends as much. I feel like in college I definitely enjoyed myself too much, and I wanted to really taper that down here. So I started doing that, and I started seeing significant changes in my academics, my overall well-being, how I thought as a person. So I did really well in the master's program, earned a very high GPA, I took the MCAT that summer like I mentioned, right? And I ended up getting a 496. A 496 on an MCAT, that is that's not good. That was another turning point in my life during the summer. I was just like, I don't think medicine is for me. I genuinely was gonna drop medicine, but then with the acceptance of the master's program, I was just like, what's the hurt in trying it out? You know, if for some reason if I'm not cut out for it, I'll just drop it the first semester because it's hard. Like I had stuff going on at home, and there's always something going on. If I wasn't mentally mature for medicine, I was like, that's fine. I just move on. But I was able to do really well in a master's program. I don't know what it was. I mean, it was a whole new person, and you felt it. Like I felt it, right? And after finishing the master's program, I did more volunteer hours. I did not have to retake the MCAT during that year. I did really good in my classes. I was able to be part of class council, president of class council, so I was able to bump up my extracurriculars, work on secondaries for schools. I still applied to a couple MD schools, only in Illinois because applications are expensive. But I did not hear back from any other school, any MD school in Illinois that I applied to, which was no shock. But the last chance I had was a medical school that was attached to the master program. And I was granted an interview, right? And so I've been making the grades, been performing well. In the interview, it was a multiple mini interview, and I did really well on that, practiced so much for it, and it was accepted into the MD school. Now this is a unique scenario because I did not have to retake the MCAT, because the school's acceptance policy was kind of along the lines of you did not look at your undergrad experience too much. It was kind of like a clean slate. They looked at my performance, and they looked at everything else that I did that year, and they liked what they saw, and they took a chance on me, and I was accepted to an MD school. Right, so with my stats, if I told you my undergrad stats, 3.3 GPA, 496 MCAT, minimal experiences, all that jazz, right? Not even like a couple publications for research as well. I did some research during undergrad. I should have mentioned that. I did do some research, but it was not nearly to the breadth of what other applicants have. Like, it's crazy what some applicants have. I was accepted to the MD school. Now this was a unique opportunity for me. It was honestly a surefire way for me. It was one of the best ways to get into medical school, given my situation. So what I learned is that there's many ways to get to where you need to be. Maybe it's MD, maybe it's DO, maybe you'll do a master's, maybe you'll take a gap year, maybe you'll not even think about medicine later on, you want to do some kind of program to get into medicine. You never know. But it took me failing multiple times and realizing that being put in a situation where like I don't think I'm ready for medicine, I don't think I'm cut out for it, and then saying, you know what, who's to say that I'm not just a test score, I'm not just a GPA, I'm way more than that. And I took that to heart, and I saw what happened when I took care of myself, first and foremost, that academic year during my master's program. I really outdid myself. I didn't know who I was, in a good sense, right? I was able to do stuff academically, professionally, and mentally for myself that I've never done before. You know, it's in a college, you might fall into the wrong crowd, you might get distracted. It's college, you want to have fun, and you think everything will work itself out. But if you're trying to get into medicine and you're in undergrad, know that it's a long uphill journey, right? It's not easy, but it's doable. You have to take it day by day, and you have to make sure that you're thinking about it constantly. But do not let it overwhelm you, because then you'll start to crumble and you will start to lose yourself mentally. So you have to understand all of that. So now I could say, after doing my undergrad, after doing my post-bac, SMP, right, whatever you want to call it, mine was considered a special master's program in SMP. And there's many like that you could research and look up if you feel as though your MCAT or your GPA is not there and you need some time to really work your academics up. Because that program taught me that like I'm ready for a med school curriculum. And now I'm coming to you right now recording after I finished my first year of medical school, and I couldn't be prouder of my academic success. I never imagined where I would be right now. I never imagined my performance at medical school now. I never imagined how I'm able to balance my time effectively, make videos about this. Never thought this would happen. But that's the thing about medicine. You kind of roll with the punches. You take the opportunities as they go. You take advantage of every single situation, and you try not to doubt yourself. You're gonna doubt yourself. You're gonna feel inadequate, okay? That's okay. Realize those feelings are inevitable, or inherent. They will come to you, but work through them. You have people supporting you. You have support networks, whatever it is that you do to decompress. So this was a quick little video just describing what I did, but this is my first video. I apologize for the ugly looking background. I'm just sitting in my garage because the lighting was really good today. So I hope it looked fine and you were able to get some kind of benefit from this really quick video. We'll be doing more stuff like this. I want to hear from you guys what kind of videos you want to see. If TikTok is getting banned, I'll be starting to do my videos on here. I'll be trying to push everyone to this platform. TikTok was truly a blessing in my opinion. because I was able to reach such a large audience that I never knew people wanted to hear. Like, I was sharing my story and how many people resonated with it, how many people wanted to hear what I did and how I got through it. It's amazing. It makes me realize that I'm not dumb, or I'm not alone. On this channel, I'll be doing stuff on advice on medical school, getting into medical school, how I live my life and living a healthy life during medical school, all that good stuff. So if you like that, please give it a subscribe. Please tell your friends about it. Give this video a thumbs up, whatever it is. And we'll keep on churning these out because I like doing these videos. So it's not too much of a burden to me, but I just want to make sure that I'm providing value to you guys. So thank you so much, and thank you for watching Med Student Kumail. That's the name of the channel. I'm just gonna call it that. All right, guys, take care.